welcome to KU Vision, your local news programme which covers the stories and entertainment from the Kingston and the local area.
On today's show, worried about overindulgence? Follow our recipe for a healthier new year.
Want to be your favourite cartoon? Get into character with cosplay.
Sick of Christmas music? Turn up the tempo with Kingston Music Ensembles.
As the festive season approaches, we are faced with a lot of tempting foods that are not good for our health or our diet. But it's difficult to know how to improve our eating habits without a bit of help. At Kingston University, experts in nutrition and professional chefs have got together to help many students understand how to develop a healthy approach to food.
Elio, Kingston University's catering program, has collaborated with the Nutrition Society to engage with students through the Cookery School program.
It's taken about 7 months to get to where we are at the moment. It's a 5-week programme, so it's every second Wednesday over 5 weeks. It's not just a one-off event. And it came together really, it's a collaboration between Elior and student engagement.
The Cookery School first started off how Elior UK at Kingston University can engage with the students. So myself and Christine started off doing cookery lessons with the students last year, and also it's fun and the students seem to like it a hell of a lot. Welcome everybody to the Elior Cookery School. This is the second session, and as you will see, we are going to be in a festive mood. We're doing Christmas pudding. What we're going to do first, we need is half a zest of orange and half a zest of lemon. Take the pip out first, see the pip? Then give it a squeeze. All in, okay? All your dry ingredients, not the liquid, not the egg, not the milk, not the brandy. Give it a little mix up with your spoon. Once everybody does that, put all your apple and your orange and your lemon zest. And you need to crack the 2 eggs, then just mix it up with a fork. Stage 2. I'm going to show you how to make a cartouche, and we're going to make it round. So you fold it in half.
I've always liked cooking. I think it's a great idea. I mean, it was good when we first started it, but it's grown so much bigger and it's a bit more professionally done now. I think first of all, students need to realise that you don't have to spend a lot of money to eat healthy. Actually, it's not that unhealthy because we've actually substituted beef suet for vegetarian suet, so it's got less saturated fat in.
We spoke to students to find out how they feel about the Nutrition Society and the Cookery School program.
I've joined the society in this project to find out more about food, meet some new people, experience different parts of uni. I'm living on my own now, so I've got to fix my eating habits rather than having takeaways like every day. I've got to cook for myself and something nice and healthy at the same time.
I think a lot of people are misinformed about nutrition, and I think there are mixed messages everywhere, so it's quite interesting to be a part of something where you can clarify some of that and just help people out. And also, food is everything, food is life. So everything you put into your body, you're going to get out of your body. So obviously the more nutritious food you're putting in and the knowledge to make nutritious meals is going to give you a better stand in life naturally and healthily. Hopefully they will learn a bit about the Eat Well plate and having the whole everything in moderation, eating a balanced meal, portion sizes.
This event is something that's actually quite close to my heart. I'm quite passionate about healthy eating and about giving that message over to different people that maybe don't know that much about different ways of eating. There's so much obesity and diabetes and awful health conditions, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. The UK is just getting so fat and diabetes is on the rise, heart conditions, and so much can be done just by changing your diet a little bit. It's important for everyone. Everyone eats every day, so they should sort of think about what they're eating a bit more maybe.
lot of people have worked together to make this happen. So Elior, obviously the chefs are providing the ingredients and also their time and expertise, and you can see from all the work here how much they've put into it, and they're fantastic to work with. The programme's taking about a day a week of my time, and it has been for several months now, and we've got the student facilitators who are doing all of this for free. So there's an awful lot of people to thank as part of this programme. We're very grateful to all of them.
So we're joined today by Hilda Mulrooney, one of the lecturers in the nutrition degree. Hello, Hilda.
Hi.
So how successful do you think the cooking school is?
It's been really successful. We finished the first run just a couple of weeks ago, the 5-week programme, and we had a full house. All participants completed the course. Not everybody completed every single session of the 5-week course, but the feedback we've had so far has been really positive, and that's not just from the people who've been learning to cook, but also from the student facilitators and the chefs at Elior. So we're all really happy with how it's gone, and the kind of words that the participants have used to describe it are innovative, exciting, friendly, so I'm really pleased.
And what are your plans for the future?
We have lots of plans for the future. How realistic they are is another thing, because it takes a lot of time to put something like this together. But we're running it again, starting again on the 13th of January. We're hoping to run 2 a year, and we're hoping to continue this again next year. But we're also looking at the possibility of other opportunities, maybe small short-term cookery opportunities, 1 or 2 days at a time. So we'll just have to see. It depends on funding, and it depends on people's time and availability. But hopefully.
So what should viewers do if they'd like to join?
What they should do is email me, because I'm the person who coordinates all of the people taking part. So I already have a full list of trained facilitators who are nutrition and exercise nutrition and health students, but people who want to learn to cook need to email me, and all they need to do is email from their Kingston University email account to my Kingston University email account. At the moment, the course starting in January is full, but that's not to say that, you know, the odd person might not drop out, and at least if I know who's interested, I can contact them if other opportunities arise. That's all they need to do.
Well, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
In a day and age that we all rely on public transport, more of us are affected when there are tragedies on the rail lines. These tragedies affect family and friends for a much longer time. Ali Tebbett has been looking into one fatal accident.
It's an issue we don't often speak of. It happens all too frequently on the transport system thousands of us use every day. With rail deaths reaching an 11-year high in 2014, KU Vision is here to explore the consequences and causes of these tragic actions. In July, the BBC reported that railway deaths had reached an all-time high in 2014. Since then, we've seen numerous stories of fatalities occurring across the southwest. Rail statistics from the Department of Transport show a slow but steady increase over the past 10 years, reaching a peak in 2014. If we look at the changes over the 5-year periods between 2004, 2009 and 2014, the correlation is apparent. Deaths are increasing and show no signs of slowing down. Away from the headlines, we came to Surbiton Station to speak with Alex Shaw, whose childhood friend Leon was killed on the railways 2 years ago. He shared with us his story and what he thinks can be done to prevent this happening again.
Leon and I have been very close friends since we were kids. I mean, we went to the same junior school, we lived on the same street, we even ended up going to the same university together and sharing a house through that. So I'd like to think we're pretty inseparable as we were growing up. I got a phone call from Leon's brother about halfway through the afternoon, at which point he told me that, you know, he'd passed away earlier that day. I didn't really believe it at first. I mean, I was in total shock. Once it had sunk in that it had actually happened, I kind of jumped on a bus back to Peckham, where the police were waiting for me at my house to kind of take a statement of the events of that day and any information I could give them to help. I'd say at first I became very depressed about the whole situation. You know, I fell behind with my studies, I stopped attending university, and eventually I actually dropped out for a period of time. I'd say partially I blamed myself for what happened on that day. You know, being a friend, you kind of feel like there's something you could have done to help prevent it, or in some way you could have been there for them when it happened. But the further on from the event, I kind of realised that there's not much I really could have done to help. I think firstly the most important thing that the government could do is to raise public awareness on the issues at hand. I think once the government's raised awareness on these issues, then it would really be down to the general public to kind of stay vigilant and kind of look out for their fellow passengers, because it could prevent a normal day turning into an absolute disaster for somebody at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
No problem.
After contacting South West Trains, Network Rail and TfL, they all declined to comment. So we asked members of the public what they think can be done to combat this issue.
I'm not certain it's entirely fair to blame the rail companies for it. If somebody wants to throw themselves under a train, they're going to find a way to do it. At the Jubilee line, there are shutters that completely cut people on the platform off from the rails themselves, but are they going to do that nationwide on all the railway lines?
Well, I think it's almost impossible, really, because they obviously have barriers up and things like this, but if a person's determined to kill themselves, they jump off onto the rail. It's horrible. Obviously, safety is really important.
Actually, I've noticed them really kind of increasing their awareness and the commuter's awareness around obviously staying behind the yellow lines, but obviously it's not that easy to do. So I think the only thing they could do is really put up rails, or have some sort of system where you have guarded parts along the rail.
So whether it's up to rail companies to promote greater awareness, or us to keep an eye out for our fellow passengers, people will always find a way to hurt or kill themselves on the railways. Perhaps the only solution is station barriers like these ones that prevent further fatalities. For KU Vision, I'm Ali Tebbett.
So if you'd like to get involved with this discussion today about this topic or any other stories that you see on today's show, why don't you join us on Twitter, that's at KUVisionTV, and join in with the hashtag KUVision, that's hashtag KUVISION. From Elsa to Batman, with cosplay you can be any character you desire. I went to Comic-Con at the Excel Centre to check out cosplay at its finest. Cosplay is the art of dressing up in costume and becoming one of your favourite characters. One of the biggest displays of cosplay is MCM London Comic Con. Today, I'm here at Comic Con to explore the world of cosplay. Here we have Poison Ivy and the Evil Queen from Once Upon a Time. A lot of time and effort has been put into these costumes, as we can see the immense detail. You might think that Comic-Con is all about comics, but over the years it has developed into one of the biggest displays of cosplay in Europe. In conventions such as Comic-Con, you can see many different people dressed as different representations of the same characters. Later on, we found that Roman Pivic had won the Euro Cosplay Qualifier in the Czech Republic and had earned a place in the finals in London.
Yeah, I made the whole thing myself. I needed to do it myself because I was competing, and if you are competing, you have to make everything yourself. I have the construction for another costume because this is the second, like a mark, I would say. And the construction took like 2 months, and all the armored part, chair and the body and the mask, it took like a month to do. For the past year, it actually means a lot. It became, from the hobby, it actually became like a secondary job, I would say.
From popular kids' films to Lego, the barrier between these art forms are broken and these characters are brought to life. Big Hero 6 was a big film for small children, and the chance to dress up as one of the main characters was way too much for one fan. So how long did it take for you to make a costume?
It took around 2 months.
And what does cosplay mean to you?
I've made a lot of friends through cosplay. It's a way of showing off your art. You know, it's something that gives me a bit of drive to actually do things.
The word cosplay was invented by a Japanese reporter who was reporting on the Worldcon in 1984 in Los Angeles, California. Comic-Con is not just about cosplay. There is a lot of different interests that people can explore. From TV shows to gaming, there is something for everyone. Social media plays a big role in the life of cosplayers, and many have huge followings. For some people, this isn't just a day to dress up, it's much more serious. It's a way to make a living and gain 5 minutes of fame.
Something like this can take 3 to 4 days. Some of the smallest stuff can take 12 hours to 24 hours. It all depends on the size, the intricacy, the infill density. So like this, you can make it hollow inside, completely solid. Usually about 2 to 3 weeks. You've got to allow each piece to dry after you've glued them and then paint them. Everything here is hand painted.
Cosplay is not just dress up, it's a culture which brings together friends and strangers to create an everlasting experience. So get out your sewing machines and see you next time.
Now, with the decrease of mainstream DJs and the rising popularity of underground DJ artists, the entry into the music industry has been incredibly difficult to access. The vastness of the competition out there reduced the opportunity to become a well-known name. Fahana Khatun looks at what it takes to become a DJ.
We're here at Kingston University's DJ Society to find out what it takes for young aspiring DJs to make it in the industry. We spoke to Neil Long, radio jockey DJ of 6 years, to find out what he thinks it takes to be a DJ.
3 things a DJ can never live without: a thick skin, number 1, okay, a car, transport, and a good music knowledge. And I'll add a 4th one: to be able to read the crowd and see what they want. So the way I started, my mum and dad bought me a set of decks, and it was the old double decks. Dave Double Decks was the nickname, and I'd literally bedroom mixing, just standing up in my bedroom practicing.
What do you think it takes to become a DJ?
It can be a very competitive industry, as all industries can. So you've got to be able to sort of pick yourself up if you have a bad day. So you do need a determination, a knowledge of the music, a knowledge of the market, a knowledge of what people are, the employers are looking for, or clients. So it's really just, I suppose, a good product knowledge, for want of a better word, and some determination.
What are the essential qualities that a radio DJ and a live DJ must possess in order to become successful?
Having a good voice helps. Having a quick brain helps. Being able to sound off but split your attention by hearing one thing, doing one thing at the same time. You can look at one of these desks and it looks quite complicated, but once you've mastered it, you can sort of split your attention at once. So a certain dexterity, I suppose, physical and mental, is useful. Good voice is useful. Confidence and just ability to communicate and present. That's really pretty much all you need. But don't give up. Don't let it get you down.
Kingston University DJ Society member and creative technology student James Edwards, who also goes by the name Made by Pete in the commercial DJ industry, tells us what he thinks is the top qualities a new DJ must have. What does being a DJ mean to you?
Being a DJ to me means being sort of a master of ceremony, creating a vibe, being able to read a crowd and read a dance floor. You have to be versatile because you don't know what the crowd are going to be like. You don't know sometimes what the venue's like. Sometimes you don't even know what time you're playing.
What is one thing that a DJ can never do without, especially on stage?
Headphones. Don't turn up without your headphones.
So don't forget your headphones, know your music, and the DJ world is yours.
Have you heard of sound painting and djembe? Well, this is your opportunity to find out more. At Kingston University, there are several different music ensembles that are looking for new talent, and you don't need any previous experience to join in.
Located away from its sister campuses of Penryn Road, Knights Park and Roehampton Vale, Kingston Hill is host to the busy, thriving and newly renovated business school. After undergoing a £26 million revamp, the campus is now suited to the high-tech and demanding world of business. However, the Faculty of Business and Law is not the only department nestled away in the trees. Just up the hill stands Coomhurst House, a stark contrast to the modernised business school. With its more traditional aesthetic and composed atmosphere, this renowned music department attracts students from all over the world. One of its main attractions, outside the restrictions and regimen of everyday classes, is its music ensembles, which collectively make up collegiate music. Valerie Marshall, event coordinator for the Collegiate Music Scheme, describes it as a way of taking the enjoyment and the arts of music beyond the department, targeting all students, faculty and alumni across the university, with extensions to the Kingston community itself. The ensembles range from the classic chamber choir, brass band and musical theatre to the more worldly beats of djembe and gamelan.
My name's Hans Sutton and I lead the djembe ensemble here at Kingston. Djembe is a West African drum that's played with the hands, and played along with the djembe traditionally is another drum called the dunduns, played with sticks, and it's fun stuff. The ensemble's been running for probably over 10 years, and the ensemble plays at various functions, some of the music open days, concerts for the department, and anywhere that we're offered a gig in the community, really. The djembe ensemble meets every Thursday, 5 till 7 in Coomhurst Court, and we're always open to new members. We'd really love to have some more people in the group at the moment from any background, and you don't have to have particularly musical education as well. Anyone can come and join, and that will really help build up our djembe community here. Most people in the ensemble are just taking up djembe for the first time, so we're very much open to beginners. We're performing out in the community and it's fun music, so everyone can see that it's enjoyable and we're enjoying ourselves even if we're fairly new to the instruments.
The collegiate ensembles are not ones to be restrained by what is considered the norm. One ensemble in particular is more interested in the contemporary world of music. Sound painting, led by Helen Julia Miners, is a newly developed form of conducting using sign language that has many students engaged and challenging the idea of what music is and can be.
I'm Helen Julia Miners. I'm the head of the Music and Creative Music Technologies department at Kingston University. Sound painting is something that most universities in the UK aren't aware of. It is a multidisciplinary sign language that you create music in the moment, but it's created by a sound painter, front of the group, signing and gesturing to the instrumentalists, and that piece is created through the conversation between the leader and the ensemble. In the Kingston Sound Painting Ensemble I lead at Kingston University, we have a number of students that like to lead the ensemble. There are a couple of third years that have about 1,000 signs under their belt. They're able to sign and they're prepared to get up with a number of people. Sound painting occurs on Thursday evenings. We start at 6 o'clock. Once we get around to Easter and the summer, we tend to find slots all the way through the week for people that are interested. For something like sound painting, you don't really need any prior knowledge. If you're prepared to act, to move, to try singing, if you do have an instrument, great. If you have a laptop, you're welcome. Anybody would be welcome for that.
The Collegiate Music Scheme openly welcomes new sponsors and community members to collaborate with. The scheme is ever adapting, and there are plans to develop new ensembles in the coming semester. All interested community members are encouraged to come along and participate in an ensemble that appeals to them. So, if you are missing some rhythm from your life, join one of Kingston University's vast and varied collegiate music ensembles this winter.
Lovely. We're now joined here with Helen Julia Miners, Head of the Music Department. It's lovely having you here today. So, what other ensembles weren't covered in that piece?
We've got quite a few ensembles that use singing, so particularly the chamber choir wasn't included. The chamber choir often sings in 4 parts, so your alto, tenor, soprano and bass, often focus on a classical repertoire. We also have a popular music choir called Twist. Twist is open to absolutely anybody, community member, student across the university, and they focus on popular repertoire that is arranged for a choral group, but they also have a soloist with choral backing, and for the last 2 years we've taken that ensemble to the Edinburgh Fringe, and we've toured with them to give them that professional opportunity. There's also a jazz ensemble that's led by a colleague of mine, Meredith White, who's an expert jazz pianist, so the students get to work with professionals in their field as well. And there's a 4th ensemble not included in that VT, which is musical theatre. A musical theatre was established about 18 months ago with a graduate from the drama department here. And one of the developments mentioned in the VT is the fact that we're trying to boost that ensemble and develop it with also having live music rather than a backing track. So we're currently arranging music with the students leading that and bringing in more alumni to lead that ensemble.
Brilliant. So if students wanted to join, how would they go about it and how often would it be?
They would need to contact either me or Val Marshall, so just go to the university's website, you can type in collegiate music, you can type in ensemble, anything that has music in, we show up. In terms of how often, every single day of the week there is a rehearsal for one of these ensembles at least. They're usually for about 2 hours a week during term time, so you'll be committing to 2 hours over 12 weeks per term.
Lovely, fantastic. It's been fantastic having you here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's all we have time for in this programme. We'll be back next term with more news and stories from around the university. And from us and the KU Vision team, we'd like to say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.